Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. My name is Waqas Ahmed, and today we are going to talk about a wonderful, wonderful individual from Muslim history whose name was King Faisal. Over the course of history, uh, we noticed that there have been people in nations who have played a very decisive role in molding their own nation's history. For example, let's take a case study of Jinnah in the formation of Pakistan. Take example of Gandhi for India. We take example of Nelson Mandela for South Africa. In the same way, you take example of Angela Merkel for Germany. You take example of Mao Zedong for China. You take example of Mahathir Mohamad for Malaysia. These people have played a very, very significant role in their country's development and the progress. So I bet you all have heard about Shahrai Faisal in Karachi. Shahrai Faisal is probably the most important road in Karachi city that connects the airport with the main Sadr, and it has a great importance. So that Sharai Faisal is basically named or in the memorial of King Faisal of uh, Saudi Arabia. In the same way, we have an entire city called Faisalabad. Uh, the actual name of Faisalabad was Lailpur back then, but it was renamed for this wonderful individual, and it is called Faisalabad now. We have a Faisal Mosque um, in Islamabad, Rawalpindi, and it is the biggest mosque of Pakistan. In fact, there are many, many memorials for this individual. So let's get started with this individual. His actual name was Faisal ibn Abdul Aziz. His father's name was Abdul Aziz. He was born on April 14th, 1906 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And this is the name of his father and his mother. His mother died when he was only 12, and he received his early education from his maternal grandfather, means his dada, and his name was Sheikh Abdullah bin Abdul Latif. There are obviously some extra information in this slide which are not mentioned in your chapter. So this is something really important and you should know about these. The charisma continues. He was a charismatic personality, hands down, and he made his first official trip to London and Paris just at the age of 14 and he met government officials in 1919. Imagine a kid of 14 years and he went to London, the capital of England. He went to Paris, the capital of France, when he was just 14. Faisal was raised in an atmosphere in which courage was extremely valued and reinforced. Arabs by nature are very brave and hospitable. Unlike the most of his half brothers, he was motivated by his mother to develop the values of tribal leadership. कबायली निज़ाम के अंदर जो लीडरशिप होती है उसकी तरफ इनका रुझान ज़्यादा था. In 1930, Prince Faisal became the Minister of Foreign Affairs, a position he continued to hold even as a king. Means in the later stages of his life, when he became the king of Saudi Arabia, he held this ministry for himself, which is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Foreign Affairs का काम ये होता है कि वो it deals with the other countries, and the target is to maintain good relationship with other countries. Crown Prince Faisal helped establish the Islamic University of Medina in 1961. In 1962, Faisal helped found the Muslim World League, a worldwide charity to which the Saudi royal family has reportedly since donated more than $1 billion. So he had a vision. He was a visionary person, and he had a vision to have a platform where they could help Muslim rulers and Muslim needy nations. So his family, means Saudi royal family, Al Saud, they have donated over $1 billion for this charity, and he also established the Islamic University in Medina. Now, Faisal was made king after the illness of his elder brother, King Saud, in 1964. His elder brother was made the king, but he was ill. So Faisal ultimately became the king. The Council of Ministers chose him as a king because of his wisdom and intelligence. In an emotional speech shortly after he came to power on November 2, 1964, Faisal said, "I beg of you," means मैं आपसे दरख्वास्त करता हूँ, humble, इल्तिजा करता हूँ. I beg of you, brothers, to look upon me as both brother and servant. Majesty is reserved to God alone, and a throne is the throne of the heavens and earth. Throne कहते हैं तख्त को. Majesty is a word in Urdu we call it आलीजा या सरकार. तो कह रहे हैं कि भाई सरकार और आलीजा ये वाले तमाम वर्ड्स हैं ये खुदा के लिए हैं. And throne, the actual throne is the throne of God. Now, there are some quotations on leadership that you can use in this chapter. A very famous quotation by John Maxwell. He says, "Leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others." There is said that leaders create more leaders; they don't create more followers. And there is another famous quotation by John Quincy Adams. He says, if your actions, let me use annotation in it. It has inspired a lot of people. It says, if your actions inspire others to first dream more, if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and finally to become more, you are a leader. And Simon Sinek, a contemporary leadership guru, he says great leaders do not blame the tools they are given, they work to sharpen them. Means वो इस बात के ऊपर रोना धोना नहीं बचाते, इस बात के ऊपर complaints नहीं करते that they are not given the rightful resources, but whatever is given to them, they try to work on them and improve them. Right. So now these are some powerful decisions that King Faisal took as a king. He said he issued an edict that all Saudi princes had to school their children inside the country rather than sending them abroad. Ultimately, their education system improved a lot because when the royal family, when the bureaucracy, when the elites of the elites, when the cream of the society is studying within the country, so obviously they try and empower and embrace the education system. King Faisal was the first person who single handedly changed the development course of Arabia. He was the first guy who understood the value of oil, and that changed the fate of Saudi Arabia. Then he had the idea about power of oil, again, the point that I have already discussed. Now, these are some pictures of the development of oil fields. Saudi Aramco, by the way, is a company in Saudi Arabia. That's the national company of Saudi Arabia for oil development, and it is the most profitable company of the world, more profitable than Google, more profitable than Facebook, more profitable than Amazon. Combined, their combined profits is not equal to this company called Saudi Aramco, Aramco. You can Google about it. Now then, Faisal was a person who emphasized on the importance of education so much. So this is a picture of King Faisal Specialist Hospital and Research Center, Jeddah branch. Now he worked on the development of human sectors. He worked on education, he worked on the health sector, and he worked on the education. All those things that can actually empower people. Faisal was from the first day against the state of Israel. He did not like the establishment of the state for Israelis. He felt deeply grieved when Israelis set Al-Aqsa Mosque on fire. It happened in the midst of 19th century, and he was deeply saddened by this incident. He was the supreme leader of Muslims at that time who organized all divided Muslim countries on the same cause against Israel. He was kind of a leader uh, who was not liked only in Saudi Arabia but all over the Muslim world because he was kind of a leader who people liked and they saw him as someone who can lead them towards you know the former glory. Faisal with Bhutto and Gaddafi strengthened the Muslim countries financially and willing to make Islamic Bank. At that time, the ruler of Pakistan was Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, and in Libya, the president was Muammar Gaddafi. जिनके ऊपर लाहौर का गद्दाफी स्टेडियम है मेमोरियल में. These three individuals were visionaries at that time and they wanted to make a World Bank or a United Nations kind of a module for the Muslim nation so that if any Muslim nation is in trouble, if they are facing any financial problem, they could help them. And it was a great idea. Unfortunately, all of these three individuals, Bhutto was killed when he was in prison here in Pakistan. Gaddafi was killed. Um, Gaddafi was killed recently, like in last, I don't know, 10 10 years ago. And Faisal was assassinated by his own family members. So these all great individuals, they became a victim of greater conspiracy of superpowers of that time. Otherwise, these individuals had great plans for Muslim Ummah. Let's continue with the topic. Now, the connection of Faisal with Pakistan is Faisal declared Pakistan as the closest ally of Saudi Arabia. Ally means the friend. Relations between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia had strengthened as never before in the era of Faisal. He felt deeply grieved on the separation of East Pakistan. When he was the king of Saudi Arabia when the separation of East Pakistan happened. And as all Pakistanis, it was something that made even Faisal very sad because it was not supposed to happen. It should not have happened, but because of the incompetency of some concerned authorities, the bigger part of Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh, was separated. People of Pakistan mourned his assassination as their relative's death. He was killed. He was killed, and people of Pakistan were in deep grief. They took it as someone from their own relatives had died. जैसे कोई अपना रिश्तेदार किसी घर में खुदा ना खास्ता उनकी डेथ हो जाए, so they don't feel like eating, they don't feel like enjoying, they don't feel like living their life, at least for some time being. That is what happened when Faisal was assassinated. Assassination of the great king. On March 25th, 1975, King Faisal was shot point blank and killed by his wicked nephew, whose name was Faisal bin Mosaid. It was a part of a fabricated international conspiracy, and he shot him, and that is how we lost a great Muslim ruler. Mosaid just came back from the US, and Faisal's assassination was a skillful fabricated plan. Now, these are some memorials and legacies of Shah Faisal here in Pakistan and all over the world. Layalpur, the third largest city of Pakistan. After Karachi, after Lahore, Layalpur means Faisalabad is the third largest city, was renamed in 1979 in his honor. The Faisal Mosque in Islamabad is named after as well. The main highway in Karachi was renamed Shara Faisal, and a suburb close to Karachi Airport was also renamed the Shah Faisal Colony. I hope you guys have heard about this place, Shah Faisal Colony, right in front of airport. These all are the memories and legacies. One of the two major PF bases in Pakistan, Sindh province, largest city, Karachi is named as PF Base Faisal in honor of King Faisal. Faisal Base का नाम सुना होगा आप लोगों ने. PF का एक base है जहाँ पे ये सारे aircrafts वगैरह जो है वो उतरते हैं. It is not for the passenger planes, but it is used by Pakistan Air Force. It was again in the honor of King Faisal. So these are the legacies of this great individual. I really wish that we didn't have such traitors in our lines. They have caused great trouble for Muslim Ummah. That is it for today's lecture. I hope I made sense in this video. If you have any problem in it, you are always welcome to ask questions. Thank you so very much. Allah Hafiz and bye bye.